Have you ever stood in front of the mirror on a slow morning and thought, if I had been hotter, younger, or just a little less of a mess, would he have stayed? Yeah, been there. We as women are raised to master the art of loving others, but no one ever handed us a manual on how to stop waging war against ourselves. Newsflash, you don't have to be flawless to be worthy of love. You just have to be brave enough to show up, messy hair, regrets and all. This isn't another get him back guide. This is a reminder to get you back. Because maybe the person you've been waiting for is the one you see in the mirror. Stick around for the next 15 minutes. There's a line near the end that might just hit you right in the ribcage, not because it's poetic, but because deep down, you know it's the truth you've been avoiding. Ready? Let's begin. Part 1. The Trap of Self-Judgment. When you become your own cruelest critic. From the time we're old enough to hold a doll, society starts whispering in our ears. Be nice, be pretty, be small, be sweet. Eat less, speak softer, don't interrupt. Apparently, womanhood comes with an invisible rulebook titled How to Please Everyone But Yourself. And the older we get, the more the script evolves. She's got better skin. Try not to be so emotional. You're too much. Eventually, nobody needs to say it out loud anymore. Because we've internalized it so well, we've become fluent in the art of self-criticism. You catch your partner smiling at his phone, and instead of asking, you spiral. Is it someone younger, prettier, less complicated? Your kid throws a tantrum and suddenly you're the worst mother in the Western Hemisphere. You glance at your body in the mirror and mourn the ghost of Ab's past. No one even has to hurt you anymore. You've automated the process. You're judge, jury, and executioner in a courtroom where the verdict is always the same. Not enough. But here's the plot twist. This voice, it's not truth, it's programming. And like all bad code, it crashes you from the inside. Take Emily. She's 33, lives in New York, runs creative campaigns with the grace of a general. Stylish, witty, the type of woman who makes black coffee look glamorous. And yet, under all that confidence, lives a question she's too scared to voice. If I look tired today, will he still want to introduce me as his? Her last relationship ended in silence. No explanation, no closure. She blamed herself. Maybe I wasn't exciting enough, magnetic enough, worthy enough. But here's what she forgot. Even the rarest flower won't bloom in a garden where someone keeps cutting the roots. You're not unworthy. He just didn't know how to water something that real. Stoic philosophy isn't about growing a thick skin and pretending nothing hurts. It's about remembering this. Stop using someone else's mirror to measure your worth. You don't need to win anyone's approval to exist. You are not on trial. You are not broken. You are a full, complex, battle-tested masterpiece. And anyone who can't see that? Well, maybe they need new glasses. Part 2. Stoicism. Loving with awareness. Stoicism isn't about turning into a robot who feels nothing and quotes Marcus Aurelius at brunch. It's not emotional exile, it's emotional clarity. Especially when it comes to love. The arena where even the strongest among us turn into anxious meteorologists, trying to predict the forecast of someone else's heart. At its core, Stoicism teaches one simple sanity-saving idea. There are two piles in life, what you can control and what you absolutely cannot. Your pile, it includes your words, your values, your ability to show up with honesty and care. Their pile, that's where their feelings, reactions, and ghosting habits live. You can love like a poet, remain loyal like a Labrador, and still not get the ending you hoped for. That doesn't mean you failed. It just means you were playing chess with someone who thought it was dodgeball. The irony is, the moment you stop trying to manipulate love like a magic trick, that's when you start feeling its real weight. Love isn't a job interview. You don't need to list your strengths and pretend your flaws are actually quirky. Love isn't a contest to prove you're the least dramatic, least complicated, most chill unicorn on earth. Real love leaves space for the days you cry in sweatpants and forget to text back. When you feel hurt but don't immediately contort yourself into a more lovable version. When you breathe through the ache and ask, is this connection mutual? Or am I just dancing alone? You are practicing stoicism with style. And when rejection knocks, and it will, don't treat it like a divine judgment. So they didn't reply. So their smile dimmed. It sucks. But if your first reaction is, what did I do wrong? Congrats. You've just outsourced your self-worth to someone who probably doesn't even recycle. Stoicism says take it back. You were not born to audition for your own life. You're not here to beg for a role in someone else's script. A Stoic woman isn't heartless. She feels everything. She just refuses to shrink herself to be tolerated. Because love in its highest form never asks you to disappear. Part 3. The story of Laura in Seattle and the rebirth of a woman. Laura was 45 and living in the quiet suburbs of Seattle, the kind of place where the lawns are trimmed, the neighbours wave politely, and heartbreak hides behind neatly drawn curtains. She used to wear many hats: a night shift nurse, the unsung hero nobody remembers at 3 a.m, a wife who remembered anniversaries even when her husband didn't, and a mother who could comfort a child and restart a ventilator in the same breath. She gave love the way some people breathe, effortlessly, constantly, without question. And what she got in return? Silence. The kind of silence that lingers like a fog after someone packs their bags without a word, which is exactly what her husband did. No fight, no dramatic exit, not even a passive-aggressive post-it note. Just gone. Maybe I'm not attractive anymore, she said once, her voice so flat you'd think she was commenting on the weather. Maybe I got too old. Maybe I talked too much. Maybe I'm just not her anymore. For 2 years she didn't date. Not because she'd sworn off men, burned her bras, or adopted a dozen cats, but because somewhere deep down, she'd started to believe the most dangerous lie of all, that being left meant she wasn't worth staying for. Then, one random Tuesday in autumn, because life never schedules healing properly, she signed up for a pottery class, not to find herself, not to reinvent anything. She just wanted to touch something soft for once, something that wouldn't ghost her if it cracked. And that's when the shift began. She noticed her hands again, not for the wrinkles, but for their strength and grace. She started buying flowers, not to impress visitors, she had none, just because she liked how they made the kitchen smell like someone lived there. She cared for herself the way she used to care for others, without conditions. Then the plot twist. Mark, an old high school friend, spotted her at a local pottery exhibit. He didn't fall for her because she looked younger. He noticed her because she had that rare look in her eyes, like someone who had made peace with herself, without needing an audience. She didn't need love to prove she mattered, but when it showed up anyway, it felt like grace. That's the thing about real attraction. It doesn't come from trying harder. It comes when you finally stop. Laura wasn't perfect, but she became whole, and that made all the difference. Part 4. Freedom from comparison. When you stop looking at others, you finally see yourself. One of the fastest ways to feel like a total failure these days? Open your phone. Swipe, scroll, repeat. Suddenly, your normal Tuesday looks painfully underwhelming next to someone else's green juice, glowing skin, genius toddler, and abs that apparently survived childbirth untouched. Welcome to social media, the modern coliseum of quiet self-destruction. It's no longer just a place to catch up with your cousin in Ohio. It's become a perfectly filtered festival of, here's how much better I'm doing than you. And even though you know it's curated, posed, and face-tuned into oblivion, your brain still whispers, you're behind. Behind what exactly? Who knows? But it sure feels like everyone else is winning at something you didn't know was even a contest. The Stoics, bless their ancient souls, warned us long ago. Stop staring at other people's lives. Start noticing your own. Because comparison, it's not just annoying, it's a subtle form of self-betrayal. Every time you say, I wish I looked like her, you're also saying, this version of me isn't enough. That's not harmless envy. That's self-rejection in yoga pants. Take Riley, 37, from Houston. In a group therapy session, she admitted, I can't even enjoy fries if I know my friend is on a juice cleanse. And I definitely can't wear a bikini knowing she bounced back in 3 months and I still look pregnant with emotional baggage. She didn't hate her friend. She just felt like she was constantly losing a race no one asked her to run. So she did something radical. She deleted Instagram. Started her mornings listing 10 things she was grateful for, like, my son's laugh, my body still dances even if badly, and I have freckles, they're mine. 3 months later, she said, every time I compare, I disappear from my own life. And the room fell silent, because everyone knew exactly what she meant. Here's what Stoicism reminds us. You're not supposed to live by someone else's measuring tape. Your worth isn't found in outperforming anyone. It's found in showing up, real, messy, unfiltered, and saying, this is me, still standing, still here. That, my friend, is success, and it's completely algorithm-proof. Part 5. True love must be relearned. Not to love the right person, but to love yourself the right way. Here's the inconvenient truth no one puts on a Hallmark card. Women are taught to love others before they even understand what love is. By the time we're 10, we're already fluent in empathy, compromise, and apologizing for things we didn't do. We know how to soothe a crying friend, mend broken hearts, and smile through discomfort like it's a talent show. But ask us how to love ourselves? Crickets. We're trained to be the dream girlfriend, the super mom, the supportive wife who never complains unless it's about the dishwasher. We're masters at nurturing, forgiving, and making other people feel seen. But no one ever pulls us aside and says, hey, here's how to notice when love turns into a slow, smiling form of self-erasure. Because there is a line between love and fear, between staying out of devotion and staying because you're scared no one else will want you with stretch marks and opinions. Real love? It's not all violin music and shared playlists. Sometimes, real love looks like staying with someone who's gloriously imperfect. And sometimes, it looks like walking away while your heart still aches, because you finally realized love shouldn't feel like a full-time performance review. Mature love doesn't make you audition. You don't have to send a highlight reel or edit your personality into something more digestible. You stay when you feel safe, not when you feel like you've earned a gold star for emotional labor. And if the vibe turns into emotional tax season, you leave. Not because you've stopped loving them, but because you've finally stopped abandoning yourself. Stoicism doesn't say, suck it up and never cry. It says, choose with clarity, not with fear. Every relationship is a decision, not your cosmic assignment. You weren't placed on earth to be someone's forever emotional support animal. Sandra, a woman from California, once realized her daughter had learned to shrink, not because she was taught, but because she had watched her mother endure. And that day, Sandra didn't just walk out of a relationship, she walked back into herself. Because love, real love, doesn't silence you. It doesn't require costume changes. It lets you be all of you, even the messy, loud, complicated bits. That kind of love doesn't just keep you, it frees you. Closing. A call to action. Love yourself again, starting today. You've probably heard all the motivational slogans by now. Love yourself. You don't need to be perfect to be worthy. Yeah, they sound great. Until you're crying over takeout, comparing your life to someone's filtered vacation on Instagram. So today I'm not handing you another quote to pin on your fridge. I'm inviting you to do something. Right now, yes, even in your pajamas. Grab a piece of paper, any paper, receipt, napkin, back of a bill, doesn't matter, and write down 3 things you genuinely love about yourself. Nothing dramatic. It could be, I make really good coffee. I haven't completely lost my mind, even though I've had reasons. Or the classic, I'm still here, still trying, still showing up. That right there is an act of quiet rebellion, because the world will never stop whispering that you're not enough. Not pretty enough, not thin enough, not sweet enough. You need more serums, more patience, a better version of yourself coming soon. But the truth, you don't need to become someone new to be loved. You just need to stop ghosting the person you already are. And if your inner critic is still throwing shade, remember this. No compliment, no romantic partner, no shiny achievement can make you feel worthy if you don't already believe it in your bones. Worthiness isn't something you earn. It's something you reclaim, one small act at a time. If this message hit you somewhere soft, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with another woman, the one you know is silently wondering if she's too much or not enough, or somehow both. Leave a comment. I'm learning to love myself, even if I'm a beautiful mess. It's not just a sentence. It's a coming home back to you. This time you're not leaving. You're staying, not to be chosen, but because you choose you.